Have you ever picked the wrong material and regretted it? If you're a homeowner going through a renovation right now and you're having a hard time picking out tile or your countertops, guys, this video is for you. We're gonna break out all the different types of materials, price points, and pro tips on what to choose for your next kitchen or bathroom remodel. My name is Mike Biestek and I own Remodeling Right. Welcome back to Remodeling with Mike, and we're gonna give you a episode today about kitchen and bathroom materials with my lovely designer, Emma. We put together a comprehensive design guide, and we're gonna have a link in the description below, but I wanna make sure that you guys stay tuned until the end. We're gonna have a lot of gold nuggets throughout this entire video. I hope you enjoy it. So let's kick it off, Emma. Let's talk about backsplashes. What kind of options are there?
So there's the main three options. The first one being a typical 4-inch backsplash that runs the length of the countertop, and it's the same as a countertop material. It's usually the most cost-effective option. And you have the countertop, the 4-inch splash, and then above that is drywall up to your upper cabinets. The second option that I like to recommend a lot, the second and third are my favorite, is a tile backsplash. This one has a ton of variety to it for price points, materials, anything really. You can get any color you want, any shape you want. This really kind of lets the design speak.
So you got your 4-inch backsplash, you got your tile backsplash. Mm-hmm. What is it about a tile backsplash that makes it your favorite?
I think a tile backsplash just has so much variety because there's so many materials, there's so many colors, there's so many shapes in tile that you can pick from. It can really bring any space to life. The third option is a full height splash. This again is one of my favorites. This can be a bit more of an expensive option. It can either be 18 inches up to the upper cabinets, or it could be even 30 to 36 inches up to a hood.
When you say a full height splash, we're talking bringing that countertop material up, right? Solid surfaces?
All the way up the wall.
So one of the things I'd like to point out too, guys, is when you're looking at these different materials, you have your 4-inch backsplash that's gonna be minimalistic. That's gonna be very budget friendly, and the reason for a backsplash is to protect the wall behind there. You're in a kitchen, you're creating grease and water, it can easily damage your drywall. So a 4-inch backsplash is the easiest way to affordably put a backsplash on. Mm-hmm. Getting into tile, I know why it's your favorite. For me, it's one of my favorites because you can really make it a personal statement piece. You can go all out, bring in some colors, some textures, some design features to that, or you can keep it as simple with a nice clean white subway. Mm-hmm. You're gonna cause some troubles with the fact that you're gonna have a ton of grout lines that can irritate people from time to time, but in my opinion, when you do a good sealer and you keep good maintenance, tile backsplash is definitely a good choice. Getting into the full height backsplash, it's gonna be one of the most costly backsplashes to go out there.
Yes, definitely.
Why is it?
That is just because it's more material, more countertop material. And again, that can depend. If you're doing granite, it can be a bit of a cheaper option. But if you're doing something like a marble or a porcelain, it's gonna be as expensive as the countertops. It looks beautiful, and I think it's a really clean, simplistic look where you're not gonna see any grout lines or anything like that, but it can just be a bit more expensive.
Cool, cool. Now talking pricing, because we said we'd drop some pricing in here. You're talking a 4-inch backsplash, standard pricing for that. You know, it really depends on the type of material you're using, but again, that's gonna be entry level. You could be anywhere from, we're gonna go square foot, even though it's a 4-inch backsplash. Yeah. Countertop pricing is anywhere from $50 to $125 a square foot. When you're talking the 4-inch backsplash around there, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 plus or minus, depending on the size of your kitchen. Talking about tile cost and installation can range anywhere from $25, $35 on the low end, all the way up to $150 plus. Yeah. Right? You can have some fun.
Yeah.
And then talking about the natural stone, whatever that countertop material it is, and you bring it up the back wall, typically the same price per square foot as the countertop. Sometimes it's actually a little bit more because it's more labor intensive to cut out all of the outlets and stuff. So one of the nuances that we try to carry in our design is under the cabinet outlets as well, cleaning up that backsplash, giving a really nice, clean, and functional space. Let's talk about some countertop materials. Good, better, best. What are our options, Emma?
The first one we're gonna start with is granite. It's a natural stone. So all the patterning on this material is gonna be unique to each slab that you pick. This is something that we always have our clients pick out by hand themselves just because everything is so unique. It's a lot like marble in that way. However, this is on the lower end of the pricing scale. This material is natural, so that means it is something that has to be sealed 1 to 2 times a year. So granite being on the lower end of our pricing scale is gonna start around $40 a square foot.
Granite is a raw material.
Yeah.
It has to think about what part of the world it's coming from.
Yeah.
Import and export costs, manufacturing and handling costs. Depending on all of that, it's going to drive the cost of the stone.
So the next one, kind of moving up from the lower end of the pricing scale up to the top, is quartz. This is something that I recommend to pretty much everyone. It's a really great material. It's man-made, so it's not something that you're going to have to worry about being very porous. It's not something you have to seal. It's really heat resistant, more so than quartzite, which is the natural version of quartz. Basically, quartz is kind of trying to mimic what quartzite looks like. This is made from quartz crystals, resin, and pigments, and it's basically mixed together to create what it looks like a natural looking stone. Again, this is something that I always recommend to most of our clients. The price point is, again, lower to mid-range. It really depends on what style that you pick, but that's gonna start around $50 a square foot.
Why do you recommend quartz?
I recommend quartz because it's such a durable material and it has a really great price point. There's a really good variety in the finishes that you can pick from, and that durability aspect of you can take a pot off of the stove or a pan out of the oven and stick it right on the countertop if you need to, and it's gonna be totally fine.
So when you're looking at quartz as a material and a selection, it's pretty cool because they have very simplistic quartz to very designer brand type quartz, right? They have the bold veining, the speckled golds and silvers and purples. So that's the quartzite coming in.
Yes.
And then the basic is trying to find that happy medium for people that like to play it safe.
Yes.
And being such a hard and durable material, it's a great selection for people that can expand their budget a little bit, but don't want to blow their budget on something that looks excellent but might not be as durable.
Yes.
Which would be something like
a marble.
A marble.
Or even a porcelain as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then what about quartzite?
So quartzite is kind of the natural brother to quartz. So quartzite is, like I said, a naturally occurring material. This will make all of the slabs, just like granite and marble, 100% unique to the one that you're picking. Now, because it is natural, it is a little bit more porous than quartz. It also isn't as heat resistant or stain resistant as quartz is gonna be. It is very beautiful and the finish is really nice. The price point does go up from there though. From quartz, it goes up towards quartzite.
Beauty is a pro. The con could be the actual hardness of the material.
Yeah, so the material itself is a very beautiful material. However, there is a lot more maintenance involved with this one when it comes to sealing and just being a bit more careful about what you're leaving on your countertop, what you're cleaning up right away, and things like scratches and staining.
I feel like there's going to be a trend here because we're going to talk about the next option, which is marble. And I know a little bit about marble. I'm going to allow Emma to dive into it, but here's the trend. The more expensive it goes, I feel like the more maintenance and protection you actually have to have.
Definitely.
So don't think that because you don't have marble, your kitchen can't look good, because there's ways around that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about marble.
So marble is also a naturally occurring material. It is one of the top tier materials for countertops. This is also going to be durable, but it's more susceptible to scratching, staining. If you leave red wine or oil or vinegar on the countertop, it will etch the surface. And that's something that if you're not prepared to deal with that, I would definitely suggest going for a different material. If you're someone who is going to clean up things right away and that's totally fine with you and you love the look of marble, then 100% go with it. Marble has two different types of finishes. So there's honed and then a polished. The polish is a bit more contemporary look. It's a really shiny, almost like high lacquer look to it. This does get etched a little bit more easily. However, it is a little bit more stain resistant and a little less porous than a honed finish. And a honed finish is more of a natural, It's more of a natural look, so it doesn't have that really shiny exterior. It's a little bit more raw. It kind of looks like you literally just took it out of the ground and put it on your countertop. This is a really beautiful look. I like it a lot for certain kitchens. Since it's not that really shiny, high lacquer finish, it's gonna hide things like fingerprints a little bit better. Small scratches and smudges, you just won't see it as much because you're not etching into that finish. You're just kind of, it's in the material itself, so it's something that kind of covers up on its own.
Cool. No, I totally understand, and honed marble reminds me a lot of soapstone in the sense that it's almost designed to get worn a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you say the same?
Yeah, definitely. It's a kind of material that ages with you.
Yeah. Soapstone's another natural material that's not on our price guide right now, but it's gonna fall in the upper range for sure, right? It's gonna be a lot more maintenance if you want to maintain the beauty of it when it's brand new. But honestly, if you go soapstone, guys, do it because you want to see the wear and tear. It's awesome in a nice historic kitchen.
Yes, definitely.
You know, we're located in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. We're surrounded by the New England charm and 1800s homes. So it's nice to be able to use products like marble and soapstone and all these fun quartzites in a kitchen. But I'd say most of our customers that do pick those materials aren't growing families. So a pro tip here, guys, if you're looking for the low maintenance, family friendly materials, go with quartz. It's gonna be much harder. It's gonna be a little bit more budget friendly than some of the higher end products. But if you're looking for something that's absolutely stunningly beautiful, natural, raw, look at the marbles, look at the soapstones, the quartzites. Those are gonna get you that elevated feel that maybe you're looking for.
And the great thing about something like a quartz is that you can get almost any look you want. So one thing that they really try and do is mimic what marble looks like. So a lot of natural marble has black, purple, some gold veining in it. It's gonna have all of that variation.
I wanna circle back really quick and talk about tile, right? So we touched on it back in the backsplashes as a medium option. Kind of covers the distance between the 4-inch backsplash and the full height backsplash. But you can get everything from an entry-level tile all the way up until a very high-end designer tile.
Yes.
So the part of this, we're gonna start breaking down a few different tile materials that you could pick, a little pros and cons on each one, and maybe some price points.
We're gonna start off with ceramic tile. This is one of the most common materials that you're gonna get. It's really cost effective, it's widely available. A lot of different companies will carry this. It is a little bit less durable than porcelain. That's the next material that we're going to talk about, which is a bit of a step up from ceramic. It works for floors, walls, really any space you want. You don't want to necessarily put it in the most high trafficked areas in your home. It's not going to be a huge problem. However, it's not built to be walked on and used an excessive amount every day. This can be used in backsplashes though, shower walls, shower floors, bathroom floors, anywhere you're kind of looking for.
Cool. So from the contracting side of things, not the designer side of things, I hear ceramic, porcelain, and glass as my three main options.
Yes.
For me, when I hear ceramic or porcelain, I think they're both fine for floors. But did I hear you say that ceramic isn't ideal for heavy traffic areas?
Yeah, so this is something that you maybe want to use more in a lower moderate trafficked portion of your home. Porcelain is something that you can kind of use more in those really high traffic areas. It's just a little bit tougher. So some of the benefits for porcelain are in those bathroom spaces. It's something that's going to be great for the high moisture areas. So it's not something you have to worry about getting super wet all the time.
Talk about glass a little bit.
So glass tile is going to be a little bit more expensive than the other two that we've spoken about, just because material wise and install wise. This is a bit more of a contemporary look. It has a lot more gloss to it. It's a lot shinier than other materials. This is really easy to clean though, and for the most part stain resistant. However, this does scratch a little bit more easily than the other two we've talked about. One thing to note about glass tiles as well is cannot be used on floors. This is a wall only material.
That's a good point. I've actually had people ask me to put glass on the floor.
No, we don't wanna do that.
That's a big no. Not only can you probably slice your foot on a cut edge, but it's slippery as all hell.
Yes, yeah.
It's fragile, right? You drop something on it, it's gonna break. It's glass.
Yeah.
Right? I know they say don't throw rocks in a glass house.
Any material that's really shiny like that, you do not want to use on a floor, even if it is a ceramic or a porcelain. Any material like that is going to be a lot more slippery. So in a bathroom, if you have a porcelain tile on the wall that you really like and you maybe want to carry it through to the floor, just be mindful of the finish that's on that material.
Some of the best places that I've seen glass tile is going to be a backsplash for a kitchen.
Yes.
Super easy to clean and wipe down because of how slippery it is. And then accents in a shower.
Yeah.
We've seen that where you can throw ceramic or porcelain tile up there and you get a nice clean glass accent in there. And it just, that something about the shininess, the colors, tones, the see-through of it, it's beautiful.
It's a good contrast, especially if you have a lot of matte finishes on the other tile. It's great for niches as well in showers.
Cool. Now talking about price points, we did that in sequence, so ceramic, porcelain, and glass kind of step up from there. Yes, there's all low and high ranges of these. Typically, entry level is $5, $6, $7 a square foot, all the way up until, what, $45, $50, $60 a square foot for the high-end glass?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely lots of options out there. Talk to a professional at your local vendor store, tile store, and lean into the professionals because they'll be able to guide you the right direction. From the contracting side of things, there's different install techniques used for each and individual tile. Now, ceramic and porcelain are gonna install very similar, but when you get into glass, you're gonna need a different type of blade. You're gonna need a different type of thin set, and you're gonna need somebody that really knows what they're doing with tile. So if they're gonna have a glass tile with no backing, they need a full coverage on the back. Sometimes they have that paper on the back because you're gonna see through everything. You wanna ensure that you inspect every single tile that's glass to make sure that the backing is fully intact, because the last thing you want is to install everything and see the trowel marks behind the tile or these little specks that you're not sure where they came from. Pro tip from the contractor in me. Now that we covered the glass tile, let's dive into some natural stones.
Yeah, so natural stone tile is gonna be a little bit higher on the price range for this one. It's a really beautiful option. It's kind of similar price range when it comes to the countertops. It's up towards the top just because it is a natural material. So natural stone tile is price point wise something that can really vary based on what you're picking. It can be on the really high end of the price range. It can also drop a little bit lower. This is something that can be used for floors, walls, anything that you really need to. However, you do have to be mindful of the fact that, again, it is a natural material. It's just more susceptible to scratching and staining than some other materials like the ceramic or the porcelain tile.
Depending on the type of stone that you pick too, it's gonna have some maintenance issues, right?
Yeah.
So consistent sealing of it, which I mean we recommend on all tile, not necessarily sealing the tile, but sealing the grout.
Yes.
Something that people don't do, regularly at least, is go back and they clean and reseal their grout, which can cause the failure. If you have a natural stone tile, something like we were saying, granites, marbles, slates, that's something that you're gonna have to keep up on as a regular maintenance as well. But the look of it, I would say, is kind of timeless because of how natural it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Talking about travertine and Corey, can you group them together or no? Are they
a little bit. They're both materials that can be used outside. So for patios and stuff off of your house, that's something that can be used for. Travertine is a natural stone, and it usually is going to come in a lot of those reddish brown hues. So if that's something that you're looking for in your home, it can be a great option. It's pretty durable. It can be pretty porous though, so you do have to seal this material. But it's something that can be used for floors, walls, patios, anything like that. Corey tile is basically an unglazed ceramic. This isn't something that we really see much in projects, but it's just something that's worth mentioning. It's great for spaces like mudrooms, kitchens, or laundry rooms.
We put together some pro tips and mistakes to try to avoid. Some of these we've already said throughout the video, so if you've been paying attention, sorry for the redundancy, but they're important to recap. Essentially, the number one thing is not every tile is designed equally, right? So knowing where to put your tile, what is good on a floor, what is good in high traffic areas, what's good on a wall. Those can be different from time to time. Specifically speaking, glass tile can be very, very slippery and dangerous, and it's prone to scratches very easily. So that's something that you're not gonna wanna put on the floor.
No, definitely not.
Now, talking about soft or porous tiles, something like a marble or is a travertine soft? It's not, but it's porous, right?
Yep.
Those tiles, you have to be careful about the areas that you put them in. Are they gonna be susceptible to chipping and staining, right? Are you a heavy wine drinker and tend to spill a little bit?
Sorry.
You might not want marble as a countertop if you're coffee, wine, or if you like to even cut lemons on your countertop.
Yeah.
Right? So understanding the different qualities is super important when you're selecting your countertops, when you're selecting your backsplashes. Your kitchens and bathrooms you're investing a lot of money and energy into. Guys, you want it to last the test of time. So I hope this video helped picking out and identifying some materials for sure. If you found value, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. We're gonna be doing more videos like this in the future. In the comments, let us know what you like the best so that we can try to mimic it. We have a goal to make it to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're at just over 700, so it would mean the world to me, and I know it would mean the world to Emma. If you guys hit that subscribe button below, share it with your friends, and make sure you guys comment like we said. Guys, can't wait to see you in the next one, and don't forget to download the link. It's gonna be in the description below, and I'll even pin it in the comments. See you on the next one.